Look, I don't care what you are. This ends now! We're the ones who live.
Hey guys, and welcome to part 3 of What If Dale Survived the Remake. Now, in the last one, we covered Dale, meaning, well, kind of a bit at first, not really too much changing at first, but then the revelation of Shane killing Randall really weighing on Dale's mind. And when he finds out with Daryl and Glenn about Randall's murder, everything begins to click into place. Then, Dale immediately knows what he must do, and runs off towards the direction of Rick and Shane to see Shane about to murder Rick. Just bringing him back to when Shane almost tried to murder Rick and held his gun on him in Season 1. And that's exactly what he is about to tell Rick about right now, along with Randall's murder. That being the other thing that you wanted to tell him. I left a lot, kind of up in the air in the last episode. Shane, knowing, not caring, and fearing about what Dale is about to tell Rick, really, kind of all emotions flaring with Shane right now, holds his gun at Dale, basically saying, "Shut up, dude." But Rick, he actually, knowing all of what Shane's done, and the fact that he was about to kill him, and everything else like that, hearing that there's more, Rick wants to know. As much as he really doesn't want to believe that Shane's any more of a monster than he's made himself out to be, and believe me, Shane's done a lot, and Rick doesn't even know, what happened at the CDC. But that isn't what Dale's going to tell him. But Rick still wants to know. And that Rick tells Shane he'll deal with him after, but he is going to wait. Shane really just wants to ice either Dale or Rick right now, but every part of him that cares about them, or at least Rick, is holding him back immensely. That little part that cares about them is the only thing that's keeping him from shooting either of them. And Rick says that he'll deal with him after he hears this. And then they will deal with each other alone, like they, planned. He'll, shoo Dale off or something. And he promises this to Shane. And then turns to Dale and basically wants to know, after Otis, and after finding out about him and Lori being together, what more is there to tell? And did they find anything, out there, like Randall or anything like that? Even though he knows that Shane's story was a lie, it'd be nice to know at least, something. Dale first off admits that Shane killed Randall, so any suspicion that Rick might have had about that possibly not happening, no, that happened. That full-on happened. But that's not what Dale wants to explain. He'll get more to that later. That's not really the most pressing concern. The pressing concern that he wants to address, that he never got to, is the fact that Shane, this isn't the first time that he tried to kill Rick. And this really, Rick wants more. Dale then explains, back at the Season 1 Atlanta camp, well, he wouldn't say Season 1, he would just say Atlanta camp. I'm just being specific. But anyways, he explains at the Atlanta camp, when they were arguing, he was out there too, and saw Shane aim his gun at Rick, hold him in his sights, and he had him there. And Dale says he wished he would have said something to Rick sooner, but he just didn't see Shane for the monster that he truly was starting to become until now. He really started to put it all together. And he didn't want to believe it, but everything just happened. Rick cannot believe what he's hearing. Shane's wanted to kill him, even before he figured everything out and they fought each other over Randall? And this just breaks Rick more. While Rick isn't truly broken, he's still soft, plenty, even though, Sophia and everything else like that, and this happening just now. But before he can lash out at Shane a handful, although he's kind of already done that, he whirls around to see Shane sledgehammer him straight in the dome, knocking him unconscious for the moment. Shane then yells, "Enough," basically bringing back a not too long ago scene from the barn, which would have literally happened not too long ago, saying that as much as he cared about Dale and everything, now he's opened his mouth far too much. And now he's not just going to kill Rick. He's going to kill the both of them. He gave Dale a choice. Either side with him or go against him. And he said that he didn't care. So, this is unfortunately how it's going to have to be. But he looks up straight as he's saying all this to Dale holding his rifle straight at Shane. In fear. Absolute fear this time. Because before, it was just Dale keeping Shane away from the guns. That's petty. But this is actual fear for Dale's life and Rick's. Especially after what he just saw everything happen. And what he just said. Bringing back all too familiar moment again of Dale holding the gun at Shane with, the whole gun thing, like I just mentioned. Shane just steps up to the gun again, like he did in canon, and just calls Dale's bluff. Dale tried to shoot him once. He didn't pull the trigger. So, he doesn't believe that Dale's going to do it here. He knows Dale. Dale might have made his point here with Rick and everything, but he knows Dale is just a softie. He would never kill a human, and if he did, he would dishonor everything that he stood for and everything he tried to do with Randall living, which, that didn't work out. And he's right. As much as Dale has, stood out these past couple parts, and we're just getting into the story, he's of course not going to kill another man. Even though Dale's, seen the monster that Shane can be, and everything else like that. He just can't bring himself to do it. And Shane just smirks at this, because of course he was right. He just prides himself in knowing that Dale was just not going to do it. And now he's about to make his move, and even gets lightened up a little bit more, knowing that Dale wasn't going to do it. Thinking about maybe changing his mind about Dale at least, when bang! A gunshot does go off. But it's not from Dale, and it's not from Shane. It's from Rick, who regains consciousness after a good few moments of, that happening, and shoots Shane square in the head. Now, you'd think that he would just stab him like he did originally, but for one thing, circumstances. For another, Shane really, especially with Dale calling him out like he did, Rick was definitely not going to go the nice way this time. Especially after knowing Shane's wanted to kill him since he came back. Okay, maybe when it got to Randall, that's one thing. But all along, you gotta think of how long Rick would just hold that little police tactic maneuver in. And this happens right when Carl's walking up, because it was longer this time that this conversation and everything was drawn out. Sort of like my What If Rick Exiled Shane remake and everything. Carl does see Shane on the ground. He didn't see Rick shoot Shane, but he did see Shane go down and ask what happened. Rick is about to tell Carl, because he fears that Carl might have at least seen, part of it, or at least Shane go down. But Dale says now is not the right time, for two reasons. Number one, Carl does not need to know this right now, especially everything that's happened, and he knows how much Shane meant to Carl too. and for another, and then he points to the distance of where they're at, and they see a huge horde coming towards the farm. Because remember, the gunshots from the barn, that whole barn seems Sophia still happened. And even though Shane's gunshot didn't go off, Rick's did. So that one gunshot led them, if the others did not. And now the horde makes its way. With Randall's being a walker still known, will the group still find out that they're infected from Rick? And how will Dale help with the leaving of everyone from the farm? And that's where we leave things for the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed this part and are enjoying the story so far. We are only 3 parts in, really, and this is going to be, spoiler alert, a long series, and it's still ongoing. But for what it's worth, so far, I hope you guys are enjoying the story, because it's going to get really detailed in the future. Like and subscribe, comment, I'll see you guys next time.